Caitlin Clark not participating in All-Star Weekend after suffering a groin injury. Before the game, Clark and others making a statement on their shirts in Miss TBA negotiations saying, quote, "Pay us what you owe us," end quote. Started the game, Paige Beckers pulls up for a 4-point shot, drills it for the first points of the game. Team Collier up 4. Paige, the rookie and the first-time All-Star, handling business. How about Sabrina Ionescu? She was working too, fresh off her 3-point contest win. Team Clark up 4. Players loving the 4-point shot early, then early second. How about Napheesa Collier, the team captain, showing her range. Next possession, Collier. Napheesa Collier, a sharpshooter on this night. They led 82-60 at halftime, most points in a game and a half, I should say, in All-Star game history. Then mid-fourth, Collier pulls up. Unreal. Another 4-point shot. The captain finished with a WNBA All-Star game record, 36 points, as her team rose to win it 151-131. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports WNBA analyst Terrika Foster-Brasby and Ayala Ayala from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And y'all, this was a game that I did not expect, right? Because defense was nowhere to be found. It was just unlimited offense and 4-point shots as Team Collier got the win. Erica, what did you enjoy the most about this year's version of the All-Star game?
I mean, I just thought it was great that Napheesa Collier was one of the captains. I know we had talked about it on some of our programming. Who would we like to see as captain? And Collier was definitely someone that I mentioned. And I'm a little disappointed in both of us that neither one of us picked MVP. Yeah, that's kind of wild because we've been talking about her in the regular season MVP race, and we should have known she was going to put on the show, Terrika.
You know what? We have done the WNBA community a huge disservice by not mentioning Napheesa Collier. I thought maybe she'd put on her coaching hat today and kind of like let somebody else cook a little bit, but I forgot. Napheesa has been on one since she lost in the finals. She had took Unrivaled by storm. She has come in starting this season incredibly well, and she came into the All-Star game keeping that same energy.
100%. I mean, she set the record for most points in a WNBA All-Star game, 36 points on 81% shooting, and she was looking like she should have been in the 3-point competition, right? 4 or 5. So what did you feel was the most compelling part about the way she made history, Terrika, in this game?
It was the fact that it didn't matter where she was on the court, and because it was such a lack of defense, which again blows my mind considering that this is usually a game in which the players do play a little bit of defense, but every and anywhere on the court she wanted to be, she got a chance to be there, whether it was going on the inside, whether it was stepping out from 3, she dominated. And I love the fact that her teammates continued to hype her up. Courtney Williams was finding her, dishing it out to her. Kayla McBride, like her teammates were hyping her up, and that was the best part.
And I think she looked in rhythm. It looked like a regular season game for Napheesa Collier. She was drilling them shots in this All-Star game, just like she drills them shots for the Minnesota Lynx.
I like that. I like that, Erica. Now, there have been so many noteworthy moments during this weekend in Indy, right? Was there anything else, Erica, that struck you in Indianapolis this weekend outside of the game?
Indeed, we knew coming into this weekend that it was going to be an important weekend for the players and the league, as a matter of fact, because this is believed to be, on Thursday, I should say, was believed to be the only in-person meeting that they would have. As we know, the WNBPA decided to opt out of their collective bargaining agreement, and so they're in negotiations right now. We heard from players that 40 plus, including WNBPA staffers, showed up to that meeting. And it was interesting, though, Terrika, to hear what the players felt after that meeting versus what we heard from Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner. And it was the first time we as media were able to hear from her. Players, I do want to say, first and foremost, were very proud that they showed up in those numbers. Yes. And I think they felt that there was more that they could have gotten out of the business side of the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that is important to note notice when you speak to the players or you hear from the players, as you had an opportunity to talk to Breanna Stewart during media days and have some of those discussions, a lot of the things that they talked about was the disappointment, was the sort of level of disrespect that they felt about what was being proposed, versus when you hear from Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner made more along the it was productive,
yes,
and the feedback was more constructive. And I think that just kind of gives a very clear example of how far the two are apart as it relates to where they stand in terms of deciphering how each of them feel about where we are. So it makes me feel that there is a little bit of a ways to go in terms of them two getting on the same page. But I do want to make note of this. At the end of this game, when it was time for Commissioner Kathy Engelbert to present the MVP trophy, there were chants of pay them that broke out. There were signs of pay the players that were seen across the arena, and it started to become so loud that it drowned out the announcement of Napheesa Collier winning MVP. And so I think it just goes to show that this situation is beyond just what the players feel. Fans are also getting involved and invested and wanting to see them get what they feel that they deserve.
And it also started during warm-ups. We do know that the WNBA players have some things that they have to wear in warm-ups, but that does include shirts issued by the WNBPA, and they had shirts that read, "Pay us what you owe us." And so that was something also that we saw here. Those shirts were worn for this arena, and on the broadcast just an hour after we heard Kathy Engelbert start her remarks, I should say, and say that she felt there was progress and that she's hopeful that these conversations will end in a deal that is good for the players, that's good for the teams, the owners, and for the future. So we'll have to see where it goes from here. But again, Breanna Stewart, as you mentioned, someone I spoke to, felt that maybe a missed opportunity when they had the players here. They felt that perhaps the meeting time was pushed up against some of the other activities that they absolutely have earned the right to be a part of, including the orange carpet. So again, what came from this right now? We're hearing two different sides right now, and we'll see if that changes in the months to come. Hoping both sides, I think, are hoping, though, that by the fall they'll be in a much better position.
Correct.
Yeah, it's clearly a pivotal time in WNBA history, and hopefully they are able to agree to a deal and they can still play basketball next season. Now, this weekend, ladies, I felt captured the meme like, well, we had a time last night. We had a time last night, right? Thanks to the Stud Buds live stream, 72 hours. So with all that being said, Terrika, I'll start with you. What was your favorite moment that you can share on air from All-Star Weekend?
That is a very good, clear distinction, Chris, because there are a lot of things we cannot share on air. There were so many different moments. I loved even how this game actually started, where it was Paige Beckers, the rookie, who got it popping from the 4-point line first. That was fun. Great seeing all of the players be able to come together and show love. But Stud Buds, to me, had to be the best thing. They got Kathy Engelbert dancing on live stream. They caught Cheryl Reeves dancing on live stream, whom, according to her, was AI altered. It was just such an incredible moment, I think, where there have been a lot of narratives about the WNBA recently in terms of how the players feel towards each other. And I think that live stream gave a very clear example that these players really have a space that they feel is inclusive of everything, is inclusive of everyone's feelings, personals. It really gave a great insight look of what it means to have fun during WNBA All-Star, and I just couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, I don't know if Cheryl Reeves is going to beat those fake news allegations.
She's not beating the allegations, sis.
I don't think it's happening anytime soon. I would only add to that for me, there was a moment during the All-Star game tonight where the Indiana Fever invited some of their honored and storied players in the history of the franchise, culminating with Tamika Catchings. I actually had lunch at Tease Me, which is her tea spot here, and you saw that Indiana as an organization, but also the Indianapolis community really leaned into not just the event this weekend and what is the now, the present, and the future, but they also brought in the past, the culture, the history of this organization. And it was beautiful to see those players be honored. And I didn't get to speak to any of them, Terrika, but I'm sure that they had emotions seeing the growth, just knowing what it's been like to play for the Indiana Fever and seeing what it was like in here for this crop of Indiana Fever players as well as WNBA players.
I will tell you, Erica, that I did get to see Catch at the end of the game, and I did get to speak to her, and she says, I lost my voice. I felt like I was playing. So that lets you know that truly we had a time last night, Chris.
100%. Very well said. A weekend that will never be forgotten. Terrika, Foster-Brasby, Eric Ayala, thanks so much, ladies, for the insight. And so here we have it. Natasha Cloud and Sabrina Ionescu taking home the skills challenge and three-point contest, respectively, and Napheesa Collier dropping a record 36 points as captain to win All-Star Game MVP.